I asked Lenovo if this product right here, was authentic. And this is what they said. They said, "Hi there. We cannot comment on the authenticity of the products being sold via third-party websites." I got this off AliExpress. To view authentic Lenovo products available and sold in your region, please visit our website. Additionally, to ensure purchasing an authentic product, we recommend buying directly from Lenovo or an authorized reseller listed on our website. And that got me thinking, what does it mean to be authentic? I realized that perhaps I didn't ask the right question, because we've all seen the ladies, our lady friends, walking around with the beautiful Coach purses or Michael Kors purses.
It is absolutely stunning. I love the classic print with the gold. Thank you. I finally caved and bought it.
That say Michael Kors. They look like Michael Kors. They have all the markings of Michael Kors, but they're not real. They're not authentic.
But girlfriend, I think it's a fake. What? What?
So what I should have asked Lenovo was, do you make this product? But I didn't. But I'm going to reach out to them again and see if I can get an answer. But we're going to take a look at it. A very interesting handheld that popped up. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
At least we know Dead Fred is not a fake, so yeah. Subscribe.
I want to thank our friends at AliExpress, as always, for providing us with this sample. And let's dive in and find out first, what is the quality of this Lenovo handheld, the Go2, 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 whatever. And then we'll see if we can dig further and find out, was this something Lenovo licensed? Is it made by Lenovo? We might never know. But let's hop in and find out. So I've been digging in and researching this Lenovo to try to find out just how authentic it is. And as I said in the beginning of the video, I did ask and reach out to Lenovo, who gave me a very corporate answer. But looking at the box here, there's some clues, and working through research, I was able to see that, thanks to the translation of AI, that this was produced by Shenzhen Hutuang Bota Digital Technology Company. Pardon my pronunciation of that. And they have an actual real relationship with Lenovo, which is why the packaging looks surprisingly professional. They are authorized by Lenovo for an official line of gamepads controllers, specifically the Lenovo SO3 and SO5 series that I show here on the screen. They appear to be using their access to the Lenovo trademark and packaging templates to produce an unauthorized vertical handheld. So we have a company that has a relationship here officially with Lenovo, but producing something that is not this, something else. And when you look at the comparisons, they are allowed to produce something like the SO3, and instead of S, they moved it to Go2, but it looks a lot like Lenovo Go or Legion Go or Go 2, which can be very confusing for fans. And then as I was getting ready to put this video together and more information was coming in, I was pointed to a interesting URL that has a Lenovo connection. And so I asked again for AI to research this for me. And the domain iknow.lenovo.com.cn is the official Lenovo China knowledge base. It is an internal and customer-facing repository for product manuals, troubleshooting guides, and driver information managed by Lenovo's China division. The fact that on this site, the Lenovo Handheld Game Console G02 has a dedicated entry in this database, is the strongest proof yet that maybe this is an officially licensed product rather than just a bootleg. But while Lenovo would not officially confirm this to me, some of the major Chinese media on May 7th, outlets like IT Home and Sena Finance, did report on the G02, specifically mentioning its appearance in the Lenovo knowledge base, giving it a sign of authenticity. So we might actually have a product that may actually be officially licensed and supported by Lenovo here, but not part of the premium gaming we're used to, that's still kind of preying on customers who don't know better, or do they? So I'm going to go with that from everything I can discover here, all the investigation I've done, that this is a legitimate Lenovo product, at least for the purposes of licensing the name to be used. This is not a first-party product. This is more definitely a third-party authorized reseller of sorts. And so let's step into this, take a look at this, and find out what is the quality of this. And spoiler alert, I can tell you that as good as this may be, it's still going to be way below what you normally would associate with Lenovo, and it's more like something the recent R36 Max 2 that we looked at. Anyways, let's get this thing unboxed and take a look at it further. Hey, sorry to interrupt the video, but I wanted to take a moment to talk about something really cool. FPGA has come a long way, and if you're like me and picked up one of the new analog 3Ds, or you're waiting on a mod retro, you're going to want an authentic controller experience. And today I'm going to talk about this. This controller, which comes in a few fun colors, has given me an authentic experience. It uses 2.4 gigahertz with a dongle. It fits right into my analog 3D. It probably would work on original hardware as well. It's got hardly any latency, but it gives that authentic experience of holding the controller, and yes, using the C buttons like they were meant to be used with the Z button. Me and my wife were able to play a fun game of Mario Kart using this. I've used this and I don't have much interference, and it seems to work pretty well. While there may be other solutions that are better, maybe even the 8-bit DOE, I find that these are fairly cheaper but actually work. So hit the link below if you'd like to pick up a couple of these and use them on your own systems. FPGA is coming along quite a ways, and these are awesome for using on hardware that has the original port. Back to the show. All right, so let's start with this box. And the box looks professional. I've got to say that was part of one of the things that was a little most striking about this when I first saw this. And it does have a picture of the unit on front. It does say Lenovo Handheld Game Console G02. The Lenovo logo is there, and on the side here. And everything looks what you would expect from logo. The red Lenovo logo on the side here, a nice image of it. Looking at the side here, again, we do have Lenovo Handheld Game Console G02. Nothing on this end or that end. And then moving to the back, we do have some specs. Now, being that this might not have been intended for overseas markets because it did come off AliExpress, this does have a very localized look to it. There's not really any English on it, but I did have AI sort of translate this, and that's where I got the name of the company that did produce this. And so it does have some of the specs here. We are dealing with a 4.5-inch IPS screen, a 1024 by 768, which I believe is the same screen we've seen recently from these other handhelds like the R36 Max 2. A 4:3 ratio. We do have built-in Wi-Fi, it looks like. But let's get this box open. and take a peek inside. And the first thing we have sitting on top is a little card. Of course, you know, a quality assurance card. Doesn't even look like mine has been filled out. That's interesting. Next, we have a manual, and here we go again, looking. This looks quite official, but again, we just really have everything being presented with no English here. Let's open it up and see if there's any English. And not off the first bat. Let's look further back. And we do have English on the second part of it. So there is English in this manual. Let's see if we can see any clues here, if they messed up anything. Pay attention, warn, function. This is pretty basic information. Not seeing much here. A lot of power keys, how to select things, connection. And here we go again, Lenovo. Handheld Lenovo Go2, 4,000 milliamp battery, 250 grams, so not too light actually. Yeah, so not much there. Get the handheld out of the way here for a second. And beneath it, we do have a USB-C cord. So, is this branded? I don't know if this really is Lenovo. And it's not. It's not a branded USB-C cord, so that's kind of interesting. It is A to C, so no screen protector in here, nothing else really in here. And so we'll get the handheld out and let's start looking at this handheld and kind of finding out. Again, I don't expect this to be of any sort of typical premium quality that you would find from Lenovo, but I hope it's not just completely awful. Since it does have Lenovo's name on it, and since we're going with it, it's very likely been authorized here. First impressions holding this. Yeah, this feels pretty good in the hand. So it's got a nice design to it. I went with this two-tone because I thought it looked great. We also have white and black, but this two-tone looks really nice. And it's got a nice weight to it. It does have a nice solid feel. It doesn't feel just super cheap or light. Very quiet, no rattling. So, you know, some of these older consoles, they used to just rattle, but man, that's pretty good. I gotta say, it's starting off pretty positive because it feels nice in the hands. The quality of the plastic and materials is really nice. It feels injection molded. It doesn't feel 3D printed or anything like that. It feels really nice and professional. Nice grooves here. It's got a nice coating on top of it that feels good. This feels pretty nice. Let's check out the stick here. Oh, that's pretty nice. Interesting. It's a single stick, which we still don't know for sure what the CPU in it is. It's been reported to be a Rockchip 3326, which wouldn't be surprising. But the stick feels nice, rotates pretty good. Let's see here. Yeah, the stick is rotating. Looks really good here. It's got a nice range to it. It definitely has a good feel to it. So single stick, which is good for N64. A 3326 isn't going to play great at N64. Some Dreamcast, PS1 games, but not too bad. Let's try out these buttons. And ow, these are pretty nice buttons. They look good. They already looked pretty great, and they actually have a pretty nice, decent feel to them. They've got a nice travel distance. They are independent. They're large. They have a nice polish to them. They feel really good. So far as I'm exploring this handheld, I am getting the feeling of something of an Anbernic level quality. And this is probably targeting Anbernic's XX line, the 40XX-V, which is very similar in nature with the one stick. So, but that has a 4-inch screen and this has a 4.5-inch screen, so at a higher resolution. Yeah, those buttons are not overly loud. Again, no rattling when you shake it. You get a good distance to them. The D-pad, equally good. The D-pad feels pretty nice. It has a lot of pivot to it. It's got a lot of support in the middle to pivot, which is good for your fighting games. It's got a nice texture to it, and it does have a pretty good, decent curve to it. So yeah, that's not bad at all. I like the way that feels. I gotta say, the D-pad has impressed. So far, all of the buttons that I've tried on the front have been not overly loud. They're not clicky. This D-pad's pretty quiet. The stick, while not being my favorite sticks, the newer ones with the tops can remove, it is a better feeling stick with a lot of texture on it to help grip and feels good, and the buttons feel really nice. Now in the middle here we do have an RGB button. I thought maybe at first that was some kind of menu button, but it's an RGB button to control the RGB, which is nice, and then you have start and select. Let's listen and see how loud those are. They're not very loud at all. Pretty quiet, actually, so that's not bad. Pretty decent there. Let's try the shoulder buttons. And I like the look of the shoulder buttons. I can just see from the beginning of it that they look nice. They have a nice size to them. They're not overly big. They are stacked, aligned together, but with a slight curve. And yes, they have a nice distance to them, a nice travel. They're not overly tight. And of course, they're digital, not analog, but they feel pretty good. The quality on this so far is pretty good. If you're going to throw a name like Lenovo on it, you don't want to have the absolute worst quality. And I've seen a lot of really bad handhelds, some recently, and this one is much like the Battle XP, is kind of surprising me a little bit at how nice it feels as build quality. Now, it's kind of hard to get excited these days about a budget handheld, but again, if this had released around the same time as the 40XXV almost 2 years ago, then we would have had, I think this might have given it a run for its money so far. So yeah, feels really nice. Again, the back does have that Lenovo name. Pretty much everything is written there. And again, that nice two-tone, nice. It's very flat. If you like the Game Boy flatness, it's going to have that. There's no curves here. Well, there is a little bit of curve, but there's no really ergonomic to it, so keep that in mind. Let's take a tour around the side. On the front or top, we don't really have anything there. We do have a rocker volume on one side with a TF card. The bottom has a headphone jack in both your ports, a DC port and an OTG port. And then we have our power and reset button on the other side. So a single SD card slot, which makes me believe we're going to see Emuelec, but I don't know, on this thing. Nice big screen, good weight to it. Overall, I got to say, fake or not, licensed or not, this is not a bad handheld for running at about $50. I think overseas you could pick it up for like $45. So not awful, really, for a nice big screen, really in that same ballpark as the R36 Max 2. And I can already tell you hardware-wise, I would pick this, even though it only has a single stick, over that so far, just because of the hardware build. But we'll get this thing booted up and take a look at what it can do when we get back. All right, so let's boot this thing up and find out and see if I'm correct, if it does indeed have Emuelec. Being a Rockchip 3326, if that is indeed what it is, it would not surprise me if it does indeed have that as its base of software. And it is certainly Linux. We do have the Lenovo on the boot up, so that's definitely a thing. So they've really gone all in with this. And as we found out, this probably is licensed or authorized as you would to boot up in this screen. It is a nice bright screen, I can already tell, and it looks very much like I thought the other versions of this 4.5-inch screen we've seen. And yes, it's booting up into Emuelec. So we have our familiar Emuelec here. It did come with a SD card, not a Lenovo SD card, a very unbranded one, which should not be surprising to anyone here. Let's go and look and see what it says. And it is Emuelec, but it's pretty locked down. We have some LED settings, user interface settings. Let's look at some of the themes they have here. So they do have a few different themes here. Let's go back and just see what they had for this theme. And that's pretty basic theme here. But we don't have full access to Emuelec. We do have network, and as you can see here, I was able to connect to the internet, but if you don't have access to Portmaster or Theme Master or retro achievements or anything, I'm not sure really why we even have Wi-Fi here. There's not really even a system setting to update it. So the first real kind of janky thing on this is that, and the real clue that Lenovo very likely may be approving of this thing, but they're hardware R&D people, not the ones that do the awesome high-end PC gaming, are probably not involved in this, because I cannot see them having a lockdown version of Emuelec, which is a software that's not great. I mean, why not have Rocknix? Why not have ArcOS? And I'm hopeful that custom firmware can be put on this, because it is a common screen and it probably is a Rockchip 3326. But as we look through here and go to help, we get a QR code, which takes us to, I don't know where, but I'm not going to go there. And yeah, we just really don't have a lot. We have LED settings, but we have a button here. And yeah, the button cycles through your LED, so you can do RGB through the button. So there's not really a lot there. I'll just play a little bit of the games here. I know a rock chip in this screen, what it's going to play like. Let's see how much of RetroArch I can get into to see if it's worth it. It is RetroArch. We're running just Game Boy and just full screen stretched out. Let's see if, yes, well, okay, so there's a positive. We can get into RetroArch. It is an older version, 1.17. I think we're on 1.22 now. So kind of interesting they used an older version. But it looks like we have the full menu of RetroArch, so we can go in and change some things here. So it's not fully locked down. That's pretty good. Online updater, let's see. They do have some things hidden here. So there may be some flexibility here. I'm hoping for custom firmware. Again, the screen here is pretty nice. I like this 4.5-inch screen. It's pretty much the same screen we've seen on other systems. And judging by the fact that this is almost certainly a Rockchip 3326, we can know how these play. Look at any of the other dozens of videos I have if you want to see gameplay, because I'm going to wrap up this video and kind of just give my thoughts on this and where it kind of sits in the overall hierarchy of things, and whether I think Lenovo should have given their stamp of approval to this or not. But we'll be right back and wrap up this video. So what do I think? We have a product here that is not terrible. It is a good in the hand feeling handheld. And as long as I've been doing this, it's very hard to get excited about handhelds that are using a CPU that is nearly 10, 15 years old and was never powerful enough to do much more than PS1 anyways. The RG40XXV is the closest competitor to this, and the build quality of this is in the same leagues as the Ambernic, which is a good thing for Lenovo. If I was given this product as a gift, I think I would find it to be both charming and well made, especially if I was new to the hobby. The big 4.5-inch screen is a nice bonus, and I do like this screen quite a bit because it gives more real estate without being overly big. It's still somewhat pocketable. However, the nearly full-size single stick on this takes away from that pocketability just a bit, but it's very well made. This is a handheld that I find to be quite nice, especially if you can get it in that $40 to $50 range. I think it's a very adequate, well-made handheld. that in some ways reminds me of the Battle XP when it came out. But is it too late now in 2026 for Lenovo to drop something like this on the public? I'm not sure. I guess the market will speak to that and let us know. For now, there are so many different options in that $40 to $60 range that I'm not sure this is the one that I would pick, especially since we're not even sure if it has the full backing and support of Lenovo. If it ever does come to the US and has full support of Lenovo, I think they could do worse. This couldn't be too terrible if they really want to take on Ambernic. Imagine seeing this at a Best Buy. I mean, we're seeing R36Ss at Micro Center, and I can tell you this is better than the R36S. By far better. So that's my verdict. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comments. And are you surprised that this didn't turn out to be completely illegitimate? I know I am. Anyways, remember to hug your loved ones and love your hugged ones because tomorrow is never promised. We'll see you next time, guys. DevFred out.